Hi, orchestra parents. This is episode 2, if you want to call it that, in our scheduling and talking about practicing. I wanted to talk to you guys today about actually what that all means and how to make sure that we get our practice time in on a regular basis. In the last video, I talked to you about careful and consistent practice. Practicing for 2 hours one day and then not touching your instrument again for a week or two is not building that muscle memory that we were talking about last time. Practicing even 20 or 30 minutes on a more regular basis, believe it or not, is more beneficial over the long term than practicing in one big marathon and then not touching it again. So that's something that we want to encourage our students to do. Your child should be talking to you about practice records or practice logs, basically recording their practice time as part of their grade. For our beginners, that starts this coming 9 weeks, the second 9 weeks of school. Our 7th graders and 8th graders have already been doing that. 9th through 12th grade, we don't actually require them to keep a log or a journal of that practice time, but we do hope that they are practicing on a regular basis. They'll have, playing tests on a fairly regular basis and things like that, that hopefully encourage and guide and help focus their practice on what they should be working on. We know that everybody's schedule is different, and so what works for one family might not work for another. We're all involved in different activities and all those kinds of things, but one of the things that's really helpful is to think of practice as your child's orchestra homework. Just like they have math homework or a chapter to read or whatever, they're going to have some homework in orchestra, which is to practice their instrument. Beginners should be doing, kind of as a goal, about 20 minutes a day every other day. You can break that up however you choose. 7th graders and on up, we encourage at least 30 minutes a day every other day. And then after that, it's really a matter of making sure that you're getting in the quality of practice as opposed to the time of practice. For our beginners and our younger players, our first few years, they're really building that muscle memory again. They're training that in. So just the more time they spend physically on their instrument playing it, the better off they're going to be. As a parent myself of a budding young piano player who is already way better than her daddy is at piano, we have found it helpful to have a routine for her practice time. So my daughter, we come home from school, she'll unpack her lunchbox and get her backpack put away and all that, and then we'll have a snack, and then she'll go practice her piano 15 minutes or so every day. That works really well for us because it's sort of this structure of this is what we do when we get home. We still have to remind her and encourage her and say, hey, did you go practice piano? Don't forget about piano. But it definitely has helped with making sure that it gets done. If you just kind of say, well, I'll practice later, I'll get to it in my free time, if I get time to, we all know that a lot of times that time disappears on us and pretty soon it's ready for bed and we missed our shot to practice. So don't expect your child to have that self-motivation and that responsibility on their own necessarily, at least in the beginning. As parents, we need to kind of help them and encourage them in that structure. So the more structure and the more routine we can provide for them in that, then the better off they're going to be in setting up those good habits, even from just the fact that we practice regularly. That's a good habit to have. So hopefully those are some things that you might be able to do and work around your schedules. I know we have church youth group and football and dance and cheer and basketball and soccer and track and all those things that we're involved in, our kids are involved in. And if you have multiple children, you're running here and there and everywhere across town every day. And so, we understand that. But hopefully that 15, 20 minutes for beginners or that 30 minutes for 7th graders is something that's pretty doable on a regular basis. Hope this has been helpful for you, and I hope that you're able to maybe find a plan and a structure that works for you. Stay tuned next time for a little bit more.